Hey guys, it's IcyNewYear, and I'm here with a special video to talk about early game food and Better Than Wolves. Just so you know the scope of this video from the beginning, I'm defining early game as before any village food, so before any domesticated crops. And we're going to talk about a variety of different things such as base setup and such. As you can see here, I have a little bit of a base setup. These are pumpkins. Pumpkins are incredibly important to feed chickens. Okay, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's calm it down. Let's go inside. These are your emergency foods. Mushroom and pumpkin seeds are your basic emergency food. All of these will restore 1/8 of a shank. So if you subside entirely on these, you're going to spend forever eating. Cocoa beans were recently added as a food, so those will also restore 1/8 of a shank. They are a bit more difficult to get. We'll talk about the special uses of cocoa beans here soon. Eggs are king. Like, eggs are where you are going to get the majority of your early game food from. So you want a good supply of seeds. You're going to get the seeds basically by, I have some pumpkins over there that will get you some early game seeds to get some early food going. Make sure you save a couple seeds so you can get some farms planted once you get an iron hoe. And as soon as you can get a hemp farm started, this will be a great source of seeds for your animals. But yeah, I normally go with the, once I have a hemp farm I'm happy with, I normally start planting, I normally start feeding mainly the hemp seeds. I tend to hold on to the pumpkin seeds just because they are a good emergency food. And here is what we can do with eggs. A raw egg can be fried, which will give you 1.5 shanks of hunger. I'm going to be showing hunger with the buttons here. Stone button is 1 shank, a wood button is half a shank. But what you really want to do is if you mix a raw egg with 3 mushrooms, you're going to get 2 mushroom omelets, which give you 2 shanks apiece. So basically, out of 1 egg, you're going to get a total of 4 shanks as opposed to 1.5. If mushrooms aren't in good supply, but you have a cow, you can mix it with milk to get the same thing. Scrambled eggs, and you get 2 shanks out of each. The king of early game food, though, is a fried egg plus a cooked pork chop gives you 2 ham and eggs, which are 3 shanks apiece. So that is like the king of early game food, is what makes cows so important. So we're going to start talking about how to get these things. Mushrooms. I no longer make a dedicated mushroom farm in the early game. You can. What I normally do, though, is I just slap down mushrooms throughout my base, normally leaving at least a 3x3 around the mushroom, and I'll pick them as I walk around. It's that simple. You can just get a little bit of passive mushroom growth. For the milk, a little bit trickier. Once you can get shears, you can get grass, and tall grass will make cows run to it. They won't eat it, you can't breed them with it, but you can lure them where you want them to go. And then I normally try to put them underground. As you can see here, I don't have a shovel, but right here, if I break this apart, there's grass on the outside, which is how I got the grass down here. And whenever he's ready, which he isn't yet, I can milk him and I get some milk ready to go. Yeah, so that's our basic talk about eggs. That's our food for them. We're going to talk about meat now. This is just, when you're out hunting, what should you prioritize? Chickens cooked give you 2 shanks, and they give you some feathers. This is basically byproducts of killing them. The nice thing about killing chickens is they only cost like 1 swing of your axe, so I almost always pick them up when I can. Fish, we'll talk about fish a bit more later, but beyond that, the major meats are all 2.5 shanks. Pork, you have the advantage of being able to make ham and eggs out of. Steak gives you the advantage of leather. Wolf chops give you the advantage of wolves not eating you, but they are a bit dangerous to kill. And with sheep, you do get wool, which you can make early game armor out of. So there's that. Just a quick thing about milk. Milk does restore 1 shank, and you can make chocolate milk, which restores 1.5 shank. The important thing to remember about milk is now that cocoa beans are edible, they have an interesting place in the tech tree, and they become a very high-risk, high-reward situation. By exploring a jungle, you're facing a lot of dangers. I recommend highly, when you're in the early game, don't go far into a jungle, and I personally wouldn't go in without milk, but that's up to you. You can farm them the same way you used to. They just take, they drop less, and they take longer to grow than before. So I try to get a decent amount of wood. You can always grow your farm slowly, but the more you come out of the jungle with, the better off you're going to be. Okay, now, on the topic of chocolate and its place in the tech tree, cocoa beans can be grinded down to get, there we are, cocoa powder. That can be used to dye things, but its real good use is once you get to hell. Once you get to hell, you can mix cocoa beans, or cocoa powder, milk, and sugar, and you make chocolate. That on its own will restore 1 shank, but the real nice thing about it is it can be used to lure and breed pigs. So it allows you to breed pigs before you find a village, so that's awesome. Okay, talking about hell technology, once you get to hell and can get at least 1 piece of netherrack, you can substantially upgrade your food. Basically, you need the 7 iron ingots, water bucket, bone, that'll make your cauldron, and you can set that up like this, in case you don't know somehow. And this unlocks 3 new foods to you. Mushroom plus milk plus bowls will give you chowder. 2 bowls of chowder gives you a shank and a half. Raw fish, milk, and 2 bowls give you cream and mushroom. Those are 2.5 shanks apiece, which is pretty nice. And, really the last thing to say on the topic of early game food is fishing. Bait your rod with any of these things. I wouldn't recommend using creeper oysters, but I mean, if it's all you got, it's all you got. Rotten flesh is normally really easy to obtain just by going out in the morning and picking up where mob drops were. I'm really starting to like this kind of design if you're near water, because up here I can safely sit at night. There's a little lip on this so that spiders can't get me. They can drop down from the bottom, but they shouldn't be able to fall in. And I can just sit up here at night and safely fish away. Don't underestimate the value of fishing for food. It is pretty phenomenal. Whoop. But yeah, that is the basic early game food primer. One thing I might add is if you happen to find a dungeon that has bread, I highly recommend making tasty sandwiches. Just slap them together with any meat. I'd do mutton since it gives you the least. Mutton or fish since they give you the least on their own. And yeah. Oh, cool, got another chicken. And I would also recommend don't kill your chickens off unless you absolutely have to. Just grow that farm as big as you can, and then once you're happy with the size of your farm, you can start calling it down. But I hope this helps some people out. It's pretty simple. It's, you know, just play it smart. I guess only other little tips I can give is things like half slab up paths you use all the time so you don't have to jump and use as much food. And get farms going as soon as possible. They make a huge difference. Looks like I planted hemp there. They make a huge, huge difference. But I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. Now that Better Than Wolves is nearing its completion, I'm going to be doing tutorial series on it. If you have any specific things you'd love to see a tutorial video on, please tell me in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. If you're new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more great Better Than Wolves content. And as always, have a great day.